Hey everybody, and welcome to the Mainstream Indie Music channel. As you can see here right on the title sequence, one of the biggest, one of the best indie albums to date, alternative indie albums to date, one of the biggest and best albums coming from the early 2000s, which helped kickstart a lot of the indie movement. Bloc Party's Silent Alarm. Does it still hold up to high standards today? I think absolutely it does. And so to begin and to fully understand why this album is so important and what it means to indie music in general, we have to rewind. We have to go back to that time period and kind of understand what was happening in the music scene in general. And then, of course, we're going to dive deep into the album itself. And then lastly, talk about the lasting effects of that album, kind of the legacy of the album as well. So the four members of Bloc Party that you can see on screen: Matt Tong, the drummer; you got Gordon, the bass player; Kelly Okereke, lead singer and rhythm guitarist; and you have Russell, who is their lead guitarist. Russell and Kelly were friends, and they were the ones that initially started Bloc Party, with Gordon and Matt responding to advertisements and really applying for the job of playing in the band. And so they formed the band Bloc Party. Now, Bloc Party also went through several name changes. They weren't Bloc Party right away. In fact, there are some records of the band even being together in 1999, all the way back then. So Bloc Party itself didn't form until the early 2000s, but they had been touring and trying to make music together for years before that. So they were working for a long time. What's really cool is the method that Bloc Party, but really Kelly, used to push the band forward and to really gain traction. They would hand out copies of CD recordings of their music, specifically the song She's Hearing Voices and Banquet, and in so doing, they would hope that the person they were handing their music to would help push and get their band in front of as many people as possible. So of course they were handing it out to people like maybe their fans at the show or people on the street, but they were specifically targeting big people in the music scene. There's reports that Kelly gave the album to Stevie Aoki and a BBC radio DJ, which we're going to get to in a moment. But the most infamous one, the thing that they kind of credit the start of Bloc Party to, is they handed a copy of She's Hearing Voices to the lead singer of Franz Ferdinand, who really enjoyed it upon his first listens and really wanted to help promote the band and help the band get big. I'm actually going to take a second, instead of kind of plowing through chronologically with the band, and there was an awesome article that wrote about Silent Alarm. It's been 20 years since Silent Alarm has been released. My God, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember this album coming out. I remember Bloc Party being huge all the way over here in Midwest America. A British band, was starting to get big, along with the Arctic Monkeys at the time. But what's really cool about this article is it does highlight and contrast those two bands together, because they really were growing together at the same exact time, and while they kind of did have some similarities, you think of the Arctic Monkeys and Bloc Party, especially early Bloc Party, they kind of kept that high tempo, heavy drum beats with kind of like a simple strumming rhythm guitar behind it. But at the same time, the bands could not be any more different. Kelly's voice alone is so different in comparison to the others. And while Silent Alarm didn't at the time start to hint at how kind of alternative Bloc Party and experimental they were about to get, especially in the coming albums to follow, there were hints of it on their album as well. Whereas Arctic Monkeys kind of kept that garage sounding rock band sound from the alternative indie bands of the early 2000s. Kind of think of a la bands like The Strokes, Yeah Yeah Yeahs, early Black Keys and Kings of Leon and so on and so forth. Bloc Party went in a completely different direction, like I mentioned. They really wanted to do something different. I think of songs like Banquet. It's different, like, yeah, it does have that, two guitar, bass, and drum set behind it, but the composition of the song is different. And there are many songs, like So Here We Are is another example, where Bloc Party really wanted to do things different. Did that plan pay off? Did they make the right decision in what they did with Silent Alarm? Absolutely. Many bands nowadays, in 1975, many British bands especially, whether they are indie or not, credit the album Silent Alarm to their success. Other bands like Alt J, Two Door Cinema Club, and others also credit the band to their success and really cause them to be inspirational in the music that they make, today. Think of all the songs on Silent Alarm. Right off the bat, like Eating Glass. You have songs like Helicopter, So Here We Are, The Pioneers, Little Thoughts, Banquet. There are so many songs on this album that just stand out. Many fans believe that Bloc Party, even though, and I'm one of them, I love Bloc Party. And I know it's kind of different, but I love the album Intimacy. I absolutely love that album. But I think all of us Bloc Party fans and indie fans would agree that Silent Alarm was their magnum opus. They have never been able to top the creativity of that album, the outreach of that album since, and they look back at it fondly. In the year 2025, Bloc Party did do a 20-year anniversary tour playing Silent Alarm through. The reverence they give toward it, the respect they give to it, even though Bloc Party right now has split up. Matt and Gordon are not with Bloc Party anymore, and it really sounds like they are not going to come back. Some bad blood is in there a little bit. That might even be a future video about kind of like the split of Bloc Party. But anyway, I digress. What do y'all think of the album Silent Alarm? Is it as good? Should it have been as big as it got in the early 2000s? Should it even got even bigger, especially mainstream acclaim? I think a lot of indie people like that album, but not so much the mainstream. Love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Always appreciate the support, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.